Welcome back to Taiwan Outlook. Our guest today is Professor I-Chou Liu, Professor of Political Science at National Cheng-chi University. Professor Liu, we've been talking about the electoral system in Taiwan. And the electoral system will affect not only the candidates and political parties' behavior, but it will also affect voters' behaviors. You are an expert on the voting behavior in Taiwan. How do you interpret the trend or the process of voters' behavior in Taiwan?
I think the first impact will be on their decision on if they want to split their vote, because now they have two ballots, one for candidates in the district, and the second one for them to choose among different political parties. And in the past, we counted the party's vote by counting the party's nominees' parts and add them together to the party. Now we separate them. So the effect is that the voters' two ballots have two different results. One to decide which candidate will win the seats, the single member, the single seats in the district. And the second would decide that nationally, how many parties will share the total 34 seats. That will be decided according to the proportion they win among the voters' second ballots. So in the future, we will see a tendency of splitting, vote splitting.
But split vote means that you will vote for one particular candidate which belongs to one party, Party A, and then you will vote your second vote for Party B.
Yes.
But why do voters want to split their votes?
They probably would choose among the candidates by different criterion. If they like these candidates, they don't care
their party ID.
Their party ID, you know. But if they have a strong party identification to certain political party, they probably will cast a straight vote, which means that they cast two ballots for the same party, the party and the party's nominee. And but if they don't have a strong party identification, that means they are likely to have different criteria for the two ballots. The first one, they think about the character, the nature, or the strength and the weakness of the candidate as an individual. But for the second, they will think about the party as a whole. So they are using different criteria.
So for the second vote, I think the party's position, policies are more important in terms of influencing voters' behavior. But for the first vote, for individual candidates, that particular candidate's, policies, his own characters matter a lot.
Yeah, that's right. For the party vote, I think the party as a whole and their policy position probably have decisive influence on the voters' choice.
But apparently, the so-called second vote, party for votes for the party, were very important impacts on the balance of power in the legislative yuan. But the thing is, party stands for something. So what are the issues? What are the policies that distinguish one party from another in this election?
For this one, we still have to wait for for the small parties to raise their major issue. But there are still some other issues that the two major political parties are not, they are not included in they don't include in their major political forum yet. So I think the small parties still have a chance. For example, in the European politics, we used to see that small parties like the Green Party, they focus on environmental protection issue. And for major parties, it's very difficult for them to put their major effort on this issue because they probably would angle some of their major contributors of some major industries. But for small parties, they have more freedom to do this.
So some experts and commentators predict that in the end, given time, in Taiwan we are going to have two dominant or major parties with several minor, smaller parties in our political sense. Do you think that will happen eventually in Taiwan?
Yeah, I think so. Because in the single-member part of the election, only major party have a chance to win the election. Small parties just don't have any opportunity. And for small parties, their only chance is to emphasize very specific issue not taken care of by the major parties.
Yeah. But apparently, if there's no party that can really gain the majority in the legislative yuan, so there will be a possibility for grand coalition or kind of some sort of party cooperation in order to form a majority. So in that case, smaller parties will have very important say on some of the policy issues. But the thing is, for some people, that kind of critical minority, which can easily tip the balance, will lead a particular political party into a very extreme position. Do you think that will be the case in the future?
That really depends, one, on the result of the election.
That's right.
If major party win most of the seats, then they probably need not to pay attention to those small parties.
That's right.
But it also depends on, second, the internal rule of the legislative yuan, because in the process, in the lawmaking process, they probably have to respect the position of those small parties. And in the past, the small parties cast a very important or critical decision, because the internal rule say that we don't see any written rule there, but as their operation, they say that if any small party have a decision, they are very likely to have a veto power in the lawmaking process. That's why we expect also that they have their influence in the future.
According to the Central Election Committee, now in Taiwan we have more than 100 political parties. After the election, how many political parties do you think will continue to be viable in Taiwan's political scenes?
I think no more than 5. No more than 5. Those parties are already there. We make it. If there are any new political party want to win the election in the new system, under the new system, they have to make effort in the future for several years. Otherwise, they have no chance.
For now, we have at least 5 major parties. 2 dominant ones and 3 minor ones. New Party, People's First Party, Taiwan Solidarity Union, and the KMT and DPP. Let's talk about the future of those smaller parties. How about PAP, People's First Party?
I think it will eventually merge into the KMT because they have very similar electoral base. They have very similar policy positions. I don't see there is any major difference between the two. And also, we know that the PAP was broken up from the KMT. I think sooner or later it will go back to the KMT. The most important, if not the only one, factor is James Song. If James Song really retire from politics, I think there is no reason to keep the PAP there.
This time, PAP does not nominate the legislative large list, but the new party, which is also one of the big blue coalition, and they nominate very strongly and advocating strongly for their PR list. Do you think they will survive in this process of a new electoral system?
I am not very optimistic of their chance, because Basically, the new party is an urban party, actually. They exist, or they may win election only in certain urban area, like in
Taipei
City, probably Taiwan or Kaohsiung. In other places, they just have no chance. So I don't think they can obtain more than 5% of the total vote of this election.
So it's very difficult for them to pass the threshold, you know, of 5%
not
of the
easy,
vote.
not easy.
How about on the other side of the political spectrum, you know, Taiwan Solidarity Union? And recently they've been acting strangely, you know, and trying to move to the center. But in the old days, they belongs to the far right or far extreme position. What's their future?
I also not very optimistic about the future because very similar that the Taiwan Solidarity is heavily rely on the charisma of former President Lee Teng-hui. And if President Lee, also if he retire from politics, I don't know who can run the party. If there is no strong leadership, I don't see there is anything particular for voters to support TSU.
But if the future prospects for these three parties, you know, New Party, People's First Party, and Taiwan Solidarity Union is very dim, then you have only two major parties, DPP and the KMT. But some people are thinking about the so-called third party out of these two DPP and KMT camps, or third force. Do you think in Taiwan's politics right now, there's a chance or room for the so-called third force and third party?
I would say yes, and also no. Yes means because people used to think that, see, if we look at the distribution of party identification, there are about 30% of the people say that I support the KMT, and probably 25 something they say they are supporting the DPP, and people think that there are still something like somewhere between 40-45% still have no strong identification with the two major parties. So the third force has a chance. But we should think about the composition of the other 45%, because a large portion of those 45% are actually people who are not interested in politics.
So they will never vote?
If they vote at all, they vote, their vote is decided or guided by a major political party, because only the two major political parties had the influence or had the resources to mobilize them, to bring information to them. And if we count this, only a very small portion of those real independent voters who will think that our case for small parties because they have different positions from the two major parties. Yes.
But how about the future of some, very, ideologically strong political parties such as Green Party, who has been advocating environmental, sustainable policies and so on? Do you think they have a political future in the future?
I don't think so. It's because that there is a very strong trend that most governmental decisions or policies would go this direction, that most countries cannot ignore the demand, the need for very strong or very powerful environmental protection policy. Yeah. And so the two major parties have to think about this, and they have to respond with very strong or very attractive policies to the voters. Yeah. That means small party like Green Party, they will be, their position are observed by the two major political parties. Their reason for existing.
People say that they complain that they're being, so disheartened or disappointed by the two major parties. So they may cast the so-called protest votes. So absentee vote, protest votes and so on, spoil tickets, and so on. So do you think that will happen a lot, in this election?
And if they would stay aside from the election, I would say likely. But to use that election to cast some different political party, and they need more information about the positions, the future policies of those small parties. So I think that won't be easy. But I expect that the turnout will be lower.
Okay. And this election, legislative election, will be held 2 months before the presidential election. So when we come back, we will talk about the possible outcomes of the LY election and most importantly, its impacts on the presidential elections 2 months later. And don't go away, stay with us.